talk about Udahagen.
Yes. Hello. All right. So I really like this week's question about identity. I think it's really important to know who you are when acting. Acting is all about knowing a character inside and out, and like knowing like everything they do and what they're feeling. And if you don't even know that about yourself, it's like kind of hard to do that for someone else. And I also want to talk about how right at the beginning of chapter 2, Uda was talking about Horatio and how you've seen like many Horatios, but like how many of you have seen a Horatio who's like eaten, slept, washed, or gone to the bathroom? And that's really important to think of like every little thing of what makes a person or what makes you when acting out a character. Kind of like our basic object exercise in class, how we had to do like all our little habits to make a character. So yeah.
And I think another aspect to understanding yourself completely is not just the whole existential, like, who am I thing, but also who are you as an actor and what are the things you need to work through. Like, I know when I was little, I didn't know what to do on stage, so my arms would go into, like, the raptor position, sort of. And I think it's important to first understand your little tics you have on stage so you can get rid of them and see it from an objective point of view and fix them, but then after that, notice that your character would have little tics like that too. And I think it's just noticing the small things like that, how they relate to your life, how to fix them on stage, and then how your character would have them in their own life.
Alright, so then also one of the things we were talking about was like, if you don't know how you would react to something, like if you're not a mom, you don't really know how a mom would react to a certain like situation. Like if you were losing a son or a daughter or something, like you wouldn't really know how to react because we're all young and not parents. So it's really hard to find that aspect of yourself in order to draw that response out, which I think is interesting.
And kind of bouncing off what Emmy said, when I was in high school, I played the role of father in Beauty and the Beast, and it was really hard to know how he felt letting Beauty go off to this beast castle, not knowing if she was going to make it, just because, not because I don't have people in my life that I would be scared to death that they went to a beast castle, but I don't have a child, and I don't have those feelings of, that parents face every day of, because they're parents. And then also I wanted to talk a little about what Uda says at the very end of the chapter, and she talks about how Mozart's influenced by Haydn, and but Mozart is still Mozart, and he's still his own musician. And then goes on to talk about Beethoven in that too. And she asked the question, can't we aim for that as actors? Even as recreators, and in finding and strengthening our own identity, can't we develop our capacity for identification to the point where we will be able to put it to service by revealing the human being in dramatic literature? And that whole paragraph, that whole thought just kind of left me speechless in thinking about identity. So.
Hey, so in terms of how do we know, how can we get to begin to like know ourselves? I think one really good way to know yourself is like through performing like the basic object exercise that we did. So just like going through something that you do every day and just like repeating it over and over again and paying attention to like every little thing, like what you do with like your hands, or like if you like hum a song or stuff like that. And that's a really good way to just like be really focused on like who I am, and like what do I do when I'm alone, and like what are like my little like tics and like behaviorisms. So yeah. To look at my Bye.